Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Thomas28, and welcome back to Cuboid Outpost. It's a beautiful day here at the Outpost. Our machines of industry are tinkering along. Our infinite resources have reached the max capacity of an oak drawer that I don't think it matters too much if I upgrade them. I could upgrade all the drawers with the thingamabobs, the upgrades, to make them store even more. I'm just not sure how much we'll actually need. Now, in between episodes, I did go in and add 2 more machines from Mechanism. These guys, these ultimate smelting factories, set with a bunch of smelting patterns for all the things we're going to need, and since they use a lot of power, I set up our good old friend, the ethylene burning generator, for tons of power. It's not the fastest because I'm using a botany pot to supply the biofuel for this guy, and the biofuel is coming in pretty slow, but we're going to be starting farming this episode, so it should be solved in a jiffy. Now, in case you were wondering, this is the progress on all of the quantum singularities. The only ones we don't have so far are some of the could be beta, not Arfbadium. So in case you were wondering, this is the progress on all of these singularities. We're only missing just a handful. Could be beta, not Arfbadium, the platinum, uranium, spruce, jungle, dark oak, birch, acacia, and glowstone and lapis, and I believe that's it. We're not missing any others. We don't really need all these though, like we already have the oak singularity, so we don't really need all the other varieties of trees unless they come in later. We might need the glowstone and lapis singularities though, and we're definitely going to need uranium and platinum for what comes later. But platinum has been a little more difficult to get as platinum is produced via, where is it? Raw platinum, which comes from platinum pieces, which comes from sieving gravel with a netherite mesh. Now, I thought netherite was going to be a pretty annoying thing to get, as you can see here, because we have 132 scrap available to us, and if we take a look at our production here, we might have a handful still in here. Okay, 10. So not a huge amount, but I realized there's actually a way to duplicate netherite scrap in this pack using obsidian. So if you take a look here, and I actually found this a while ago, when you go into the, not this one, where is it? Here it is. You can combine netherite scrap with obsidian to produce ancient debris, and then you could take that ancient debris, crush it into 3 dirty netherite scrap, enrich that back into netherite scrap. So you can triple, well, I guess saying triple doesn't mean much. You can infinitely produce more netherite scrap as long as you have obsidian to keep the process going, which is pretty neat. Anyways though, we are officially starting Chapter 2, a new focus, digging up the dirt. I hope you've got green thumbs. We're about to really up our games in terms of recreating some of the flora from our home planet, including luxuries like grass, flowers, and crops. There are absolutely tons of plants you can reintroduce here. At the very least, you must complete the tasks indicated by the square shapes in order to progress. So if we're looking at just these squares, that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 1, 2, 3, so 23 specifically we have to do, and then the rest are optional. And then it just talks about botany pot and our cloche. So let me grab one of these guys from out here. Just grab this guy. Don't really need it anymore. And then I should have my garden cloche right here as well. Oh, and I think it has to be a regular botany pot. Botany. Pottery. Botany pot. So that should finish the quest. And now to get started, we need to get these first 10. Now we're already growing sugarcane, bamboo, and cactus, so we need to also get fern, large fern, wheat, carrot, potato, poisonous potato, and wheat. And I believe we're going to get these from seeds which come from sieving organically enriched sand, and that will get 6 different items here. So it should be a pretty easy quest line, honestly. Grab some sugarcane to finish that off, grab some bamboo, grab some cactus. Let's see, and if I just actually ulti mine this, yeah, that makes it easier. I can replant this. Then I don't think we need any kelp. Actually, is kelp on here? I don't see kelp. If it's there, we'll get it later. And then, let's see here. We need to we need to sieve silica dust and organically enriched sand. So we're going to come out into here, grab you, grab this, break you real quick. Huh? Where'd it go? I think it got shot down over here. Oh, it did. Grab nothing come up here, and now if we throw in this stuff and then this one, we can sieve it, and then it doesn't fit in here, so it should just stick in the accumulator. Perfect. Then we could take it out and finish off the other quests. Now let's see. So the only thing we're missing is a poisonous potato and wheat itself, but we got potatoes, so we just have to grow them. So it should be pretty easily done. And then if it wasn't obvious, in order to get all the next seeds, we have to take the seeds we have, or other crops, and then quantum transmute them. So in the case of rhubarb, if we take sugarcane and bamboo, we can make a rhubarb seed, and so on and so forth for every other seed. Now the issue I'm going to have here is which ones take seeds and which ones don't. So you can see this one, asparagus does take wheat seeds and not wheat itself, whereas if we come over here to something like rye, the rye is going to take wheat. So I think what we should do is come to the botany pots here and just spam botany pots with hoppers in them, because the hopper botany pots give us the seed and the crop. Now the one negative of the botany pots themselves is that they're chance-based and not always, 100%. So you could see here, getting the crop is 100%, but getting the seed is just 1%. So it's not perfect, and they're not the fastest. We can give them farmland for a 5% speed boost, but all in all, they're still really slow. But they are pretty easy to make. Now let's see, where should we put them? Now we already have a door controller here and here, so maybe we'll just extend it out this way, and then we'll maybe pretty it up a little bit so it kind of fits the theme. But for now, it should work exactly the same. Take a drawer controller. Then we're going to add a bunch of drawers all over the place, and I should have a builder's wand that is not going to destroy everything, this one. So we can place a little bit more dirt, much faster. And I think there's actually a building gadget, but I don't remember if that's in the pack. So we can place some dirt out here, spread some grass, then grab more of these in a big array, add hopper botany pots to the top, then add in our crops, bamboo, sweet berries, that's more sweet berries, large fern. We can grow pretty much everything and automatically deposit all of the items into the drawer controller and get to work on making our seeds. So I need to fill in all of them with dirt, and then maybe I'll pretty it up just a little bit so it looks nice against, the backdrop of the infinite void. Now if we come out over here and drag our smart cable all the way to our crop array. Oh, destroyed some of the cactus, my bad. And then I fall in the water, nice. We can slap a storage bus on top of this controller and connect it to the network. So now we have full access to all of the crops. And that should... Oh, I just realized something. I need to change these to the other thing, right? Because, like, for wheat... Yeah, see? It's only making wheat. But what's supposed to happen is when you put wheat in here, there's a small chance to get the seeds. So I actually have to change these to 1x2 drawers in order to get the seeds. Alright, so the first one, rhubarb. Sugarcane and bamboo, when combined, will make a rhubarb seed. And then next, cantaloupe. Cantaloupe, what we cantaloupe, is sugarcane and cactus. Kale is going to be bamboo and a large fern. Okra, which is a crop I'm not a big fan of, is bamboo and carrot. Then the humble sweet potato, which I am a fan of, is sugarcane and potato. So we're just gonna, slap some sugar into a potato and call it a day. Asparagus can be yummy under the right circumstances, bamboo and wheat. Parsnips, can't say I've ever eaten one, carrot and potato. Then the all-delicious corn, so sweet, love it roasted, put some mayonnaise, Parmesan cheese, some sriracha, wonderful, carrot and wheat. And then I didn't realize I only had the large fern and not the regular fern, so I went and grabbed one of those, so now we can make agave. Not quite sure I've ever had agave, fern and cactus. And then very quickly, we need to spook some potatoes into poisonous potatoes, and that should be all of the family, parent crops that we need to get every single crop available. So last and certainly not the yeast is the rye seed, which will take poisonous potato and wheat. Now we can go ahead and add all of these to our array. Let's see, I should probably just fill this up all the way so I don't have to keep going back and forth with the botany pots. So I'll just add the rest here. Assuming they all reach. I'm not actually quite sure the exact range on the controller. I think it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. but that might reach. Anyways, though, we're going to need a lot of botany pots for this. So with that, we're pretty much done with all the seeds we need. That was actually a pretty fast task. Now, if we want to go ahead and do every other seed as well, it's probably not going to take that long, because you can see here, like barley is corn and rye, but when you take a look, getting the seed is a very small chance. But you could just turn the crop into the seed very easily. So it's gonna be very tedious and time consuming, but not all that difficult. But for now, seed or feed is done, and subchapter 1 of chapter 2, digging up the dirt, is completed. Now I'll probably do this in my own time. Why do we need kiwi? It said technically we need all the squares. Maybe these ones were meant to be circles? And they're just incomplete? Could be wrong though. So now we move into subchapter 2, dirtying the dishes. Now that you've got access to some basic food items, you can really start working on improving your health and well-being and benefiting from the spice of life. We're going to start by making some fairly basic dishes to get some variety in, and we'll follow up later with some real hunger busters. You might need to bounce around to other sections in this survival guide to be able to complete this one, but it'll all be worth it in the end. Or you could just do the bare minimum of completing at least 4 of the Pentagon tasks here and keep eating gruel and slurping broth if that's your thing. That's always my thing. And they said the Pentagon ones. Which ones are Pentagons? Oh, so carrot soup, corn chips, apple juice, tortilla, cocoa powder, fish jerky, dough, and trail mix. Pretty neat names. You'll need to unlock this chapter with at least 4. Gotcha. Okay, so let's start with the tortilla, because I love them. Love me some tortillas. So we're going to need a skillet. Let's see, it is funny though, I never considered that this mod pack would have us, go through the, have us work through Pam's Harvest Craft. So to make this, we're going to need cornmeal, which comes from a grinder. Then take the grinder with our corn to produce, oh, I don't want flour. I want cornmeal. Then we need water. This is where cooking for blockheads comes in, doesn't it? Doesn't cooking for blockheads have like a thing for this? At cooking for blockheads. Yes, it does. That's what the sink is for. And the cooking table. And all the other stuff. The multi-block kitchen. Okay, that's a little annoying. So we can't actually make the ME kitchen station because we lack milk to make a milk jar. So we're just gonna have to do all of this manually, which is pretty sad. I started setting it up. We have a cooking for blockheads sink, infinite water, we have a little oven, some counter space, but now we gotta pull this back out and make some tortillas. So now if we take our cornmeal, we just needed water, right? Yes. So we can come to our infinite sink, do that to make fresh water. Do this a couple of times so we don't have to keep walking back and forth. I wonder if there's a way to automate the production of fresh water in AE2. There must be a way to do it. But now we could just search tortilla. And I spelled it wrong. I put torilla. Tortilla. There we go. It's a hearty meal and extremely cheap, just corn. Then the next easy one is going to be cocoa powder because that's just cocoa beans in a grinder. So that one's extremely simple. Only taking 2 steps, and that's another pentagon done. Now let's make some corn chips. Those sound hilarious. So it's going to start with a pot, and with this pot, to make our corn chips, why does it show an energy drink? Why is it locked? Corn chip, dependencies, cooking oil. Cooking oil is down here. So we're going to need a roller. Done. And now with the roller, we can make cooking oil, which can be made from pretty much any vegetable or tree, or any, canola, to make canola oil. Now we can make cooking oil, and now that we have the cooking oil and another pentagon done, we can make some corn chips. And to make the corn chips, we could just combine salt, corn, and cooking oil into a pot to make one fulfilling meal. Corn chips. And that's 4, right? We're done? We are. Easy enough. Now I wonder, what exactly were, the good meals? Because, why is corn chips a fulfilling meal? Corn chips are not fulfilling in the slightest. And technically, dirtying dishes is done. So now we can go to dishing up the meat, which should be interesting because we're gonna spawn a cow. Apart from a somewhat dodgy supply of meat and a fairly time-consuming supply of fish, you don't have any easy access to meat and animal products. It's time to try and rectify this. You need to start working on recreating some familiar animal life now. Get to it. So it's all going to start with witch water, as it always does. So let's grab some of that out of here. Not sure why we need the witch water, but I guess we'll find out. The first animal we're going to aim for is a chicken. Chickens like wheat seeds. As we all know, ribonucleic acid is a complex compound of high molecular weight that functions in cellular protein synthesis, blah blah blah. The science division did say more, but let me dumb it down for you. Pop some bone or rotten flesh into the molecular recycler and get back some RNA, which we'll use to make other stuff. Ribonucleic acid. So if we use rotten flesh, you get more, bones give less, but I have a lot more bones than I do rotten flesh, so we'll just use the bones for now. Mostly because rotten flesh is at a pretty high supply. Now how do I turn this into RNA? Oh, it's molecular recycling, not quantum transmutation. And the bane of my existence, we need a bunch of protein paste. Luckily, it's not expensive. It's just annoying to get because I didn't make a mob farm, but using the 8 rotten flesh we have, we can combine this to make a couple paste. And now we can mix the protein paste with the RNA to produce some gloop. What is gloop? I'm not quite sure, but we're going to need it. Primordial goop. Then we need wacitium dust and protein fiber. We have a little bit of protein fiber actually, just one. But we should have some wacitium in storage, which we can break down into dust pretty easily. So now if we take the primordial gloop and mix it with the protein fiber, we can make deoxyribonucleic acid, better known as DNA. And now using the DNA, we can mix it with bone meal to make albumin. And now that we have albumin, we can dry it into an egg. How does drying albumin turn it into an egg? I'm not quite sure, but I will not pry into the beauty of life. And ta-da, protein that isn't fish. Perfect. And now, the chicken spawn egg. You've heard it said that science, if sufficiently advanced, will be indistinguishable from magic. Well, this is one of those times. We take an egg with wheat seeds, RNA, and primordial gloop, throw it into witch water, and we get a chicken spawn egg. Now just dump some witch water here, primordial gloop, RNA, egg, wheat seed. Why am I picking up the items? Do not pick up the items. Egg, gloop. And there you have it, one chicken spawn egg. And now we can produce the first chicken. We're gonna have to keep him locked up somewhere so we don't lose him. Preferably with a hopper underneath. And boop, one chicken. Glorious. Infinite eggs, just minutes away. Now if we take more witch water, throw in an egg, throw in skystone, throw in gloop, throw in white wool, we get... Nothing's happening. Why isn't anything happening? Sheep egg. Egg, goop, wool, skystone. Oh, it has to be skystone. That's a skystone block. My bad. Let's try that again. Skystone, wool, gloop, egg. One sheep. Now for this next step, we are going to need mutton. So I think we need to make a second sheep so we can breed them and then use the third sheep to make the cow. Or in this case, the pig, and then the cow. I'm real sorry about this sheep, but I need one of your mutton. And just one. And now we gotta make a new one. Because we're gonna need at least 2 pigs, which means at least 2 mutton. It's just annoying that there's no, like, easier way to do this, and I kinda locked myself in, didn't I? Witch water, mutton, dirt, gloop, egg. Da-da-da-da, pig spawn egg. And now that we have that, we can work on the horses for courses. It's a bit trickier to tame horses than you think. And now with this second egg, we get 2 pigs. And now we breed the pigs with carrots to get a little piggy, or a piglet. Then we feed the piglet with the carrots to make him grow faster. Wait, why are there 2? What the? That is odd. They're twins. How adorable. Anyways, though, then we're going to grow these guys all the way up to adulthood and then breed them again so we can get some more pigs. And then we need to slay one of them in order to get some pork chop. Alright, I don't know if you see what I see, but they actually had triplets, so I have no idea how that happened. If we breed these guys again, will they make even more pigs? Okay, that made 2 more pigs. Actually, I think they made 3 more pigs. Why are they making triplets? This is just regular carrots. Is this a vanilla mechanic I just wasn't aware of? Now, once again, witch water, loop, egg, mutton, pork chop, into horse. And do it one more time. We're getting ahead of ourselves this time. And we're going to need some more witch water. Gloop, egg, mutton, pork chop. Bum 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 bum, 2 eggs. Perfect. Now let's see, let's throw the horses over here. We don't need the cactus anymore. So we'll just build a little pen for the horses. I'm going to need a little bit more fences to finish that. Throw this guy here. Now spawn the horses. They can probably escape, but they're too silly to do so. And feed them some oh, I forgot. You have to get on them first. That way they become friendly, and then you can breed them. And there we go. So now I can give you a carrot, and then they make a baby horse. And then we can feed this guy wheat to make him grow faster. Because as you can see, we're not going to wait 1,000 seconds. That's way too long. Oh, and you can shift right click, pick them up. Interesting. Good to know. Now for this last part, we actually don't have to slay our horses for leather. We could just kill a couple zombies for rotten flesh and then turn the rotten flesh into leather. So now, after a quick smelt, and I can't actually put them in there, I forgot, we have to use a different smelter. So now, there we go. Why aren't you cooking? That'll do. Redstone furnace. Why does a redstone furnace work but all the other ones don't? Huh. I wonder why this recipe only works in redstone furnaces. Maybe it was meant to be removed, and they just forgot to do that. Also, it's funny, I just thought of this. They give you a saddle. Can't I throw this? Yeah, you can mill a saddle back into leather as well. Huh. So there are actually a couple ways to do that. There we go. We have our leather. So now, leather. I'm going to need 1 more egg. Primordial gloop and our buckets. So let me grab 1 more egg real quick. Come out to the coop. Boop. And now to make a cow, we have to sacrifice our buckets. Not sure how they use that, but I'm not going to answer. Egg, leather, bucket, and gloop. To make a cow egg. And now once more. To make a second one. And now what was that quest? Why do cows have hooves instead of feet? Because they lack toes. Haha, haha, it's so funny. It's hilarious. And now, let's spawn our cows and trap them in a neat little home. And we'll put them right next to the horses. A good a spot as any. Bam, bam. And now we have 2 cows. Wonderful. And now we can go to meeting the udders. Now this one, it says is completely optional, like you don't have to do it. But you do get a pretty neat reward, which is something really cheap we have access to anyway. So I think we'll just skip it, because it doesn't actually help us with progression at all. And now we move on to Utterly Delicious. I'm not quite sure if this one isn't optional. Kind of seems like it is. But now that we have leather, we can actually do it. So now that we have access to a book, we're going to turn this book into a cookbook, which I believe you just cook it in a furnace. Throw that in there to make a cookbook. Cooking for blockheads, 1. And then we take our cookbook, combine it with some diamonds to make cooking for blockheads, dose. And now the heart of the kitchen, the cooking table multi-block. Now we can craft it. So now we can take this, move the items to make the cooking table. Then we can slot it in right here. So now we can see into everything. So now if I just break a bunch of these, we can finish off the quests pretty easily. Yep, just like that. Let's see, add the sink back, fridge, counter, counter, and oven. And the oven was actually over here. So I'm gonna have to re-break you. Then come over here, come into here. We need to craft ourselves some kitchen flooring. Which doesn't really do anything for us except connects the kitchen over longer distances, but the kitchen's gonna all be like right here, so it doesn't really matter. Normally you would just connect it like that, so it kind of like reaches. But since we're not really taking up too much space, it doesn't really do much. But it does look nice for making it look like a kitchen. And now to get to the final part, the burger barn. All we need is bottled milk. So actually, we should grab some more wheat here to breed the cows. And then we're going to put one in a bottle. So first things first, milk a cow. Now that he's milked, we can craft a milk bottle. Why you need a liquid to make an empty bottle, I'm not quite sure. But now we have it. And then to put him inside of him, I think we have to drop an anvil on him. Which we do. So I think I have an anvil somewhere. Don't remember where. Ah, there we go. Anvil. And let's grab some dirt. And let's put a cow inside of the jar. So it's actually pretty easy. And you did this in stone block as well, when I remember that. Which I always found was pretty funny. So you just do this. Then build a little chamber, like so. Then you grab your cow, put him into the hole, and then drop the anvil. And there you go, cow in a jar. But now that we have that, we unlock the burger barn. Now that you have your kitchen sorted out, making some nice meals should be easy. Let's try and make some different burgers, both for satisfying hunger and to increase your nutritional variety and general well-being. And we'll just put the cow in the jar like right there. So now it should work for the recipes. But now to make a basic hamburger, we need a skillet, ground beef, ketchup, and bread. But now that we have beef, throw that in the fridge. And now if I come here and type in burger, it doesn't work. What am I missing to make a burger? We should have everything. At least, oh, maybe I have to type ground, no. How do I turn you into ground beef? Burger, ground beef, grinder, and this. Here's my grinder. Oh, can I not use the grinder together? Beef. No, there it is, ground beef. Done. So now if I type burger, it doesn't work. But if I type bread, we can make the bread. And now if I type burger, we can't make it, but if I type hot sauce, we can make hot sauce. And now if I type burger, we can craft a basic burger. And finish the quest. And then if I type burger again, now we can make a jalapeno burger, but we need a cutting board. Can be placed in the world, so we need a cutting board for this. Cutting board. Cutting board. Like so. Throw this on the counter. And now if I type burger, now we can make a jalapeno burger, which yields 21 saturation and 8.5 hunger. Pretty good. We get a bunch more. Sadly though, that is not one of the ones here. How do I make a basic cheeseburger? I think we can make a basic cheeseburger. Oh wait. Oh no, we can't, because that's a basic cheeseburger. You have to start it like that. Interesting. So you can add stuff to a burger to make it a bigger meal, like this one. You can add a hot dog to the burger with some soda to make a cookout meal, which is even better. How do I make fried onions? Onion? Don't I have onion? Let me see. Fried onion. We have onion. Wait, these are roasted onions. Onion. Then how do I make a fried onion? I'll worry about that later. But for now, we have our jalapeno burger, we have food, the rest of this is optional. So now we can move into the final one. It is a fully automatic Sweetroll machine. And it's going to start with create. Now, if we follow the quest book here, deliciously creative, we need to do this little formation here. So it's 4 tall. We're going to build a little staircase. Little staircase here. And we're going to build it on this side because then I can connect it to this stuff over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, let me drink our builder's tea that we got as a reward. Not sure what that does, but it gives us haste, which is nice. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. So it's going to be yay tall. Then trash can, shoot, millstone at the top. Trash can, shoot. Grab our millstone. Put that at the top. And then we're going to use brass funnels on either side. Now, I believe what this is for, if I had to guess, is when we mill wheat, we have a small chance to get wheat and wheat flour. Wheat seeds and wheat flour. We don't want the seeds, so we're just going to take this and we're going to filter the seeds out. Is that filtering? Filter. I think you just shift right click? No, how do I filter this? Oh, there we go. So I don't want to filter for seeds on this part. So let me jump over here. So we right click to filter for seeds. So now the seeds will get vented into the trash can. And then on the top, we have a hopper botany pot. We're going to put in a bit of dirt and wheat seeds. So now we're going to start growing wheat very slowly. Then for this next part, we're going to put a depot. We're going to put a oak stairs. And then we're going to put a fan facing into the depot. Facing the other way. The other way. The other way. The other way. Is that the right way? I think it's facing up. It is. This way, that way, that way, this way, that way, that way, that way, this way. There we go. Facing into the depot. Then, after blocking off these stairs, we're going to waterlog it. This will let us use the encased fan to wash the dough into... Actually, it'll let us wash the wheat flour into our dough. Then we're going to have a second depot with a second brass funnel. And we're going to filter this one to the dough, which we don't have yet. So for now, we'll just set this to that. So now it's facing the other way. And then it should still work. We're going to have to power it all with stress units, but then we'll add that at the end. And now let's connect all of the machinery. So we're going to add a cog here and a cog there. Vertical gearbox, cog. So now that's going to power the fan and the gear, and the millstone. Then we're going to add another brass funnel here with another campfire. Not a campfire, with another depot. Then right here, we're going to add a campfire and then another fan facing into the campfire. This is going to cook the dough. We're just going to connect this with some more cogs. So now that should all be connected. Then at this part, we're going to add some shafts out this way, not out that way. Shaft right here. Turn you this way. Grab a belt. Turn the right way, please. There we go. Connect this there. Then add another funnel into the belt and extend this out one more. And then do this to block it off. And then we're going to go up one more, add our spout. Then we're going to grab our cow in a jar, grab our basic mechanical pipe. Bam, bam. Then grab your configurator, which you should have somewhere. There it is. Set this to pull so we can fill the spout with milk. Now I actually did forget a drawer, so now we can punch out this block here and add a drawer like so. And for this one, we could just use an andesite funnel. I don't believe it needs to... Actually, should we move it out one? Because I kind of don't like how this looks. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter too much, though, because it should... No, it might matter. So let me break this. Oh, it's stuck on the configurator, that's why. Break this, break that, and bring this over by one. Andesite funnel. Break this. Extend it by one. So now... when the bread is fully cooked, it combines with the milk and the sweet rolls will go inside of the drawer. Now let's connect this bad boy to some rotational energy just by plopping it down over here. And let's see, actually, I could probably finagle this guy. If we do this, rotate you, like so. We grab our belt, do this here, then do this one here, that one there, connect you to you. And now there's wheat flour there. Let me grab the wheat flour off of this. Okay, I need to get up there because I need to set the thingamabob. grab the wheat flour. So now we can filter this for wheat flour. Put that back here. And the fan is going the wrong way. They're sucking instead of blowing. We're gonna have to reverse this. Luckily, we have a gearbox. So, pop out this gearbox, and now it should be going the right way. Now you can see the wheat flour is washed into dough. So now we grab that and add it to the filter here, add the dough, and what happened to my flour? Okay, it seems to be working now. I'm not sure why it just eviscerated the dough, but there it goes. Oh wait, oh, it didn't eviscerate the dough. I'm silly. Okay, take out all of that. I thought the campfire just destroyed all of the dough, but that's not what happened. It just left the depot so fast I couldn't see it. But now you can see the encased fan is campfire cooking all of our dough into bread, and then that bread gets a little bit of milk splashed on it, and for some reason, putting milk on bread turns it into a sweet roll. I could have sworn a sweet roll used cream and not milk. But now with that, the machine is complete. Now it did automatically finish off the whole quest line. I didn't think clicking it would stop it, but it did. But now it's fully complete. And if you want to see how to do it yourself, they have all the instructions right here. But it's actually pretty simple. When you think about it, you know, grow the wheat, mill the wheat, wash the wheat, cook the wheat, convey the wheat, milk the wheat, sweet roll. Pretty easy. And there you go. A hearty meal for a hearty young lad. Not that great though, but it is like unlimited food. And it makes use of Create, which I always like. I love building doohickeys out of Create, even though they're so big. But my friends, you already know, it's that time. Grab your sweet roll, because I'll see you all next time.